Welcome to another edition of the Burnout with yours truly, and I'm coming to you once again on a very special day. First of all, I want to say Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Um, I know that you don't normally get a lot of recognition for what you do, but we're going to be recognized today. First of all, let's go ahead and give you a quote of the day. And the quote of the day is, people learn to treat you based on what you accept from them. So if you accept garbage, they're going to treat you like garbage. You cannot allow people to dictate how they treat you. All right, we're going to dive right into this. I'm going to try to make this short as I possibly can, but give big recognition and acknowledgement evenly. So we're not going to take it too short because there's a lot of things I might want to get to. First of all, I want to say once again, Happy Father's Day to all the good fathers out there. This show is not tailored to those who have kids, fathers that have kids that didn't take care of them. This is not the show for you. This is not a show for fathers who disappear months and years at a time. And just because you send your kids a couple of dollars or a present, that puts you up there in the father category. This show is not for you. This show is not for you if you mistreat your kids and you don't treat them as they should. I don't care if it's a father, stepfather. If you're involved in a situation where they have kids and you are in that situation, then those kids should be treated just like your kids. There should be no exception. There should be no rule changes. There should be nothing that divides them from your biological kids. So with that being said, let's dive right into it. And like I said, today is going to be a day to acknowledge all the fathers out there who do not get the recognition that sometimes they deserve. And it's also for the fathers to be recognized for what they have done. A father to me is somebody who's always there. Somebody there who takes time to nurture, to teach, and to, I'm not going to say train, but to prepare their kids for what they have to deal with out there in the real world. A lot of fathers do not get the credit for it because a lot of them don't want it. A lot of them don't get credit. They don't acknowledge the credit because it's their responsibility. And those are the ones I tip my hat to. But a father does so much more than people give them credit for. And a lot of time what a father does is behind the scene. It's not out in the open where everybody can see it, but they are there. You know, when my dad died back in 1982. So this day is for all fathers. But let me make this perfectly clear. If you neglect your kids, if you weren't there for your kids, if you then support your kids, then you're not a father. I'm just going to be honest with you. You're not a father. You're a sperm donor. And we are not going to go through 100 different things to acknowledge who is and who's not. This is point blank. A father is there, whether he's needed or not. A father does not abandon his kids or his family in that case. A father does not leave his kids to fend for themselves. A father is a protector. He is the one that protects over all kids, wife, girlfriend, whatever you want to call it. That's what he is. A father is always dependable. He's there when you need to talk. When you got something on your mind that you can't tell anybody else, that's what he's there for. His job is very simple. He's a protector, he's a supporter, and he's a teacher. And those are the three qualities that in me, that's what it installs in a father from day one. I'm tired of these men. I'm on men today. You have kids and you won't take care of them. You're not a father. Don't even put yourself in that category. I know fathers that work 12-hour shifts, get off from 7 to 7, get off 7 o'clock in the morning, And if their kids has anything going on at their school, they attend. They're never too tired and they're never too busy to be where they're needed. And you know, we have fathers today that abandon their kids. We have fathers today that have the opportunity to support their kids at certain events, and they won't show up. And then you want to call yourself a father. You're not a father. Don't even pretend. Like I said earlier, you're a sperm donor. That's all you are. But today, we're not going to focus on the ones that are not fathers. We're going to focus on the good fathers out there. We're going to focus on the fathers that sacrifice their needs, sacrifice their wants, sacrifice their time and resources to make sure their kids had, even if they didn't have. Those are the ones I want to talk about. You know, I've talked to people that fathers are sick. I'm talking about they are downright sick, but they get up and find the strength to continue to push on, to press on every single day, going to a job that they don't like just to make sure their family is taken care of. As I said, there are sacrifices that a father makes that nobody knows because it's not advertised. Father's Day is not what you consider a big, prolific day, but it's a day that deserves acknowledgement nonetheless, because they're the good fathers. They sacrifice their time, they sacrifice their resources, they sacrifice their well-being to make sure their kids are well taken care of. Those are the real fathers out there. Those are the ones that we should be celebrating. Those are the ones that give and give and give, and they'll give their last to make sure their kids have. And those are the ones that we want to acknowledge today. We're not going to spend a lot of time on talking about fathers that wasn't there. We're not going to do that today. Because you know if you're a good father or not. You know if you have given everything you could. You know if you showed up at the events. You might not can make every one, but you can make some. We're not going to talk about that because you know who you are and your kids know who you are. But let's celebrate those ones that gave 110% every day. Even when a situation in their mind didn't even make sense, they still did it. And that's a lot of times we do things that we don't want to do, or we do things that we don't necessarily care about. A father spending time with his kids is not rare, but it's not done as much as it should be. I've been to parks, I see fathers out there playing baseball with their kids, playing football with their kids, and it's teaching them life learning lessons. Those are the ones that do not get credit for what they do. And sometimes they get ignored because people think this is what they're supposed to do. And it's true, it's what they're supposed to do. But that does not take away from the fact that it's still, they're still in the home. They're still involved in their kids' life. They are still out there trying to make a difference, paving a road that their kids can walk on so the kids don't have to walk on dirt roads. You know, we look at a father sometime and we don't think about the strength that it takes for them to move. And we don't think about when they step out in the world, when the world beats them down and they still come home with a smile on their face. They still come home, take care of their family. They still come home to spend time with their kids. They still are involved regardless of what is thrown at them outside. That is a father. The father shows strength. A father shows courage. A father is loving. A father is so many different qualities that they don't get recognized for. A good father will put themselves in between their kids and harm to protect them. I know fathers that I read in an article that I think his apartment or house was on fire. He ran in the house, got all his kids out. Now he took some burns, but he didn't think about himself. He had one mission. Those are my kids. My job is to protect them. and to keep them safe. So I'm going to sacrifice myself to go in here and get them out. And if I don't, I'm going to go down trying. That is a father. He does it without thinking. He does it without any doubt in his mind. I need to go in there and get them out. That's the only thing that was going through his mind. I know fathers that I read in an article, I think it was in Massachusetts, jumped in a river. Wasn't even his kids. Jumped in the river and saved 6 or 7 people, but he died because I guess exhaustion, he drowned. But the point is, he sacrificed himself for others. That is a father. A father they use instinct. They don't think about the harm that could come to them. They only think about getting those kids into safety. And any father that has kids will sacrifice themselves for his kids. He will sacrifice what he wants. He put what he wants on the back burner to make sure his kids have. He will teach them lessons that only he can teach. And let me get this. Let me say this. In most cases, it takes a man to raise a boy. And that's not taking credit from the female or anything, but there's just some things that only a man can teach. And that's just how it is. There's no ifs, ands, buts, maybe in between it. And that's why it's so important that more fathers be involved in their kids' life. More fathers be involved in what their family life, because there are lessons that only he can teach. And they said, well, I've heard people tell me, well, that my mother did this. Hey, I'm not taking anything from that. But it's going to be hard for a mother to tell a young man what a man goes through every day. Because only a man can tell another man what he goes through. Because he's the one who's going through it. That's why it's so important that we have more males in the house, because they are the ones who are what they call the foundation. They are the rock. They are the head. And we cannot continue to allow females to take on the responsibility of a man. So that's why today is so important, because we have men who stand up and be men. We have men who take on the responsibility of what a man is supposed to be. We have fathers, and I love to hear about them, that their kids are first. When they don't put nothing in front of their kids. Whatever their kids need, they're going to try to provide. And that's not saying they can do everything, but they're going to do everything in their power. That is the strength of a father in the household. Fathers are so vital, and they are so important, because they are the protectors of that house. Their job is to make sure everybody in that house is safe. I love when I see fathers go to sporting events, when they go to the baseball practice. They go to football practice. They go to soccer camp. They are involved in their kids' life. That's what I love to see. You never want to see a kid out there that has no support. And sometimes one parent can't do it all on themselves. That's why it's important that the father steps in and takes responsibility, and he's got to be involved in the kid life. I got friends right now and I know I won't name names because I can't remember every name, but I got friends that would never put anything before their kids. I know for a fact they won't. I've known them saying, I've talked to them, and they tell me, hey, I got to get this, my kid needs this for graduation, I get this, I got to put in extra hours. You see, they are willing to sacrifice themselves to make sure their kids are well taken care of. They're willing to sacrifice themselves to make sure their kids have the necessary things for them to survive or prepare for any event. That's what a father does. A father does never put himself first. A father never puts anything before the needs of his kids. And those are the stand-up fathers that you stand up and give a standing ovation for, because those are the ones who never get as much recognition as they should, but gets a lot of criticism when they're not there. So we need to make sure that we tell our hats off to all the good fathers out there, all the fathers that did jobs they didn't want to do just to make sure that their kids were taken care of, all the fathers that took time out to go to that football game, go to that baseball game, to make sure that their kids knew they were there, that they had their full support. That means the world to me. I've seen video on top of video of a child graduating and didn't think his father would be there. And as soon as they see his father in the stand, they just light up. It's like a whole different person all of a sudden. And that's the impact of what a father does. He does not necessarily have to do it. He do everything. But what he do is he do what he can. And sometimes the effort is the most important thing. You got to put forth effort. You got to show these kids that you're there for them. You got to be involved in their life. You got to show them that you're not standing here by yourself. You have me. I'm on your side, and I'll take care of everything and anything that you can't take care of. That's what a real father does, and that's the most important thing. And that's why this day is so important, that we just need to give these fathers a standing ovation. We need to give the fathers the credit that they deserve. We need to give the fathers the credit that they've earned. We need to give them their roses while they're here. Because once they're gone, that void can never be filled by nobody. And you don't necessarily have to be their biological father. You could be a male figure that steps in and guides these kids in the right direction. I know a lot of what they call big brothers that take care of kids. And if you didn't know that those kids if you didn't know they weren't their biological kid, you wouldn't even know it, because they treat them as their own. And that's why I say you don't have to be blood to be a father. You have to be there to be one. You have to be involved to be one. You have to be, you just have to be in a position where you can teach, guide, and nurture. And that's why I love, and the stepfathers, you fall in the same category. They might not be your kids, but once you accept them and you treat them like yours, then they are yours. You do not treat your stepkids different than you treat your biological kids. You cannot show a divide in it. They have to be treated the exact same way. You have to love them the same way. You have to nurture them the same way. You have to teach them the same way. You have to be there for them the same way. You have to show them that you are willing to go that extra mile, and there's no difference between biological and stepkids. That's what is important. The worst thing you can do is to treat a kid different than you treat your own, because now that's favoritism. And sometimes that's hard to do, but if a good father can find a way to make it work, and he will make it work. Fathers are so important in this community today. I love to see them when they come out and show support. I love to see them when they are involved in the community. I love to see when they correct their kids and let them know that this is not acceptable. This is not how a man acts. This is what you are supposed to do, not this. And a lot of people get on social media and they ridicule fathers. They talk about them. Their kids' fathers. They ain't nothing. They ain't did this. They didn't do that. They didn't do this. You know, when a person constantly highlights what you didn't do, but never highlights what you do, sometimes that discourages them. But a real father is not easily discouraged. And he's going to handle his business regardless of what obstacles that is in his way. Does not matter. As long as there's breath in this man's body, he is going to make sure his kids are well taken care of. He's making sure that they are not going to do without. And that is what a father is meaning. And to me, that's what Father's Day is all about, acknowledging and uplifting those fathers who gave and gave and gave, who sacrificed, who did everything in their power to make sure their kids have to keep going even when they don't feel like going, to get up and go to that sorry job that they don't like because they know their kids need this, to make sure that no matter what happens, even if I don't have it, I'm going to make sure my kids have it. That is a father. That is a father. There is no two ways about it. There's a father that says, I got to go to my kid's daughter or son graduation, and I don't care what you say, I'm going to be there. If I have to go in early for work, if I have to leave early, I'm going to make sure I'm there, because there are some things that you cannot replace. There are some things that you cannot repeat. So the fathers that are willing to sacrifice, the fathers that are willing to be there, the fathers that are willing to be involved in their kids' life, the fathers that are willing to put the kids before them, those are the fathers that I'm talking about today. Those are the fathers that are sold in. They are not moving anywhere. They're letting you and the world know that I got my kids back. Whatever they need, I got it. Wherever they need me at, I'm there. Whatever they need, I'm going to do my best to provide. And that's what a father does. And that's what a father is all about. The father does not go around bragging and boasting about what he does. A father does not go around talking to everybody of what they can do. A father does not do what he can do. A father is practicing what he will do. A father does not go around talking about if I had. A father goes around and say, I will get it. That is a difference. Do not be the I can, I will, be the I can. And those are what the fathers of, that's what the real fathers practicing. They don't know, they don't understand the meaning of I'll try. They understand it as I will do it. They don't understand that I might be there. They understand that I will be there. They don't understand the process of we'll see if I can get it. They only practice in I will make it happen. That's what a father does. They will sacrifice themselves. They will sacrifice their resources. They will sacrifice their time. They will make sure that their kids are taken care of. Even if they do not have, you will never know it because they will not display it. There are so many fathers out there on Christmas, they have no idea how they're going to make it happen, but they make it happen. And I want to send my condolences to all those who've lost fathers, all those who've been without a male figure because of one thing or another. And the ones that lost fathers on this day, I know it's a big pill to swallow because it brings about a lot of different emotions. It brings about a feel of loneliness. It brings about a feel of, I can't enjoy this day. This is not a day I can enjoy because the person that's in my life that was my father is no longer here. So all of those who lost fathers, I send my deepest sympathy and condolences to, because I know the day is not one of the easiest days. And it never will be, and it never will, it never will be, and it never has been. But you found a way to keep going. So condolences go to all those who do not have their father with them now. And there's no words I can say to describe that feeling on a Pacific day like this, that when you have a person that you look up to, that you know that is gone, and I know it's never easy. But you find a way to get through it. But hey, you got my condolences, my deepest sympathy, and we all with you. We stand with you, so you're not alone. But we want to thank all the good fathers out there that are still here. Hey, if you have a father that's still alive, then you better cherish him, because what happens is when he's gone, like I said, there's nobody that can replace him. I don't care. There's nothing can replace the original. Once again, happy Father's Day to all the good fathers out there, and I want to make sure I emphasize it's the good ones. I'm not talking about the ones that have been sperm donors. I'm not interested in you because you're not a father to me. That's how it is. Like it or love it, you're not a father. But I just want to say, happy Father's Day once again. My condolences to all of those who lost fathers. But like I said, we managed to keep going. That's all I have for the day on this special day. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I want to thank everybody for their support. Hey, hit that like and subscribe button, and you'll be updated to everything that we do on this channel. But from now, we'll see you next week, same time, same place on the Burnout. And remember, always flame up, never burn out. The 2 fingers. Peace.
I can't do nothing with you. I can't do nothing with you.